Good morning. Here we are live at the Grand Hyatt in Dubai. And I'm Dave Crane, and today I've got the real privilege of sharing time and motivating a team from KPMG. And I'm really excited to do it because of many reasons, not least the fact that this is a very successful company. And so one of the things that really challenges you if you work with a successful team is so many of them already know the things that you're going to share with them. So you've got to raise your game and actually perform at a higher level than you would normally do for a company that has all sorts of issues, difficulties, maybe the team's not working together very well, or even it's a new team that's just come together who haven't had a chance to bond, in which case you're dealing with stuff from scratch. Now, KPMG are one of the biggest consultancy firms on the planet. They help to create workforces, look at all the different things that happen within a company, and they work through all the different financial elements to improve a company. So what is it that I can actually do to improve things and help to boost? Well, I'm going to take this in general terms because of the fact, as a speaker, your job is to arrive at a new venue. And when you arrive and you work with a new audience, part of your role is to work out exactly live in the moment what it is that you can do to improve things and help people. So I'm hoping this isn't too dark. I'm looking for a nice bright area because otherwise my head just disappears and you get to see baldy bits. Look at that, fantastic. That's what happens when you get old kids. So look forward to that as well. So let me just enlighten you to a couple of things about any given company. First of all, whenever you work with any organization, there's a couple of levels to which how you can break down how the company works. Let me put this in perspective. Every company has 3 levels. First level is called the engaged level. The next level is called the not engaged. And the third level at the bottom is called the actively disengaged. Now, every company has this, but you probably didn't know how this breaks down. Now, I'll give you general terms, but this is done, you can look it online on Google, and there's a survey that was done by Gallup, a company that looks after surveys pretty much, and they went through about 80,000 different companies and managers to get this survey done to work out exactly how the relationship is with staff and with different companies. Now, let me put this in perspective. So let's start off talking about the engaged part of any company. You're looking at about 20% of your staff are engaged. Now, they're the ones at the top 20 in the 80-20 rule. They're the big hitters. They're the 80% that brings in about, they're the 20% that brings in about 80% of the business, of the clients. They're like the Beckhams, the Ronaldos, the Messis in a football team. The guys you can always rely on to go out there and do the business. Everyone else is there to sort of do whatever they can, but you know there's certain people that just do bigger and better than anybody else. They're the 20%. They're called engaged. Then, underneath that, you've got about 50-odd percent, 55%, something like that, and they're called not engaged. Now, not engaged are the people who generally don't know why they go to work. Of course they go to work and they work really hard, but the thing is, they're not sure why. They're going because it's paid and because they actually, they're qualified for it, but they could quite happily go and work for another company as much as they could do working for this company. So the problem is that these are the only guys that ask questions. So when you ask, well, what do you think of this? They'll raise their hand and say, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? And they look like they're actually troublemakers, but they're not. All they're trying to do is work out exactly how their relationship is with the company to decide whether they stay or they add more or become even more engaged and lift themselves to the higher level of the Ronaldos and the Beckhams, I'm just using the football analogy to fit into business. And then below that, you've got a group that's called the actively disengaged. Now, they're the toxic ones. They, on average, are about 20% of any given company. Now, this is done by surveys right across the board. Some companies, some countries have worse amounts of each. So I'm giving you generalizations of 20, 55%, and 25% odd for the bottom line. These guys, the toxic ones, the actively disengaged, don't want to be there anymore. They've given up. They don't like working there. They don't particularly respect anybody. They don't particularly like the boss. But they like getting paid. And you know what? It's become an easy ride for them. So these are the guys who, as a result of being there for a long period of time, don't do any extra work. In fact, I can be honest, what they do is they actually steal from the company. Not maybe physically money, but taking pens home or taking extra time to do things that they shouldn't do, and also just generally dragging their heels. But here's the problem about trying to find out who these people are. When you engage with them, when you ask them, is everything okay? They go, yeah. You say, well, okay, what about this new thing that we got? You think that's a good idea? Yeah? Is there any problems with it? No? They say there's no problems because they stopped caring. They honestly, genuinely don't care anymore. So they're happy to say, yeah, because they gave up a long, long time ago. So what happens in any given company is this. You start working with them and you want to make sure that everybody can step up their game. Now, the engaged people, the top 20%, what happens with them is if they feel that the company is not fulfilling or hitting as big as them, or not nurturing the direction that they're going in, they make a very quick decision and they decide that they don't want to be there anymore. Because they're not there for the money, they're not there to just make friends, they're there because the whole ethos of the company has to be something that drives them. That's why sometimes you've got, like, go back to the football, Ronaldo left Manchester United because he just felt like his opportunities were bigger elsewhere. They offered him untold amounts of money, but offered him even more money than he would have got if he, probably, he was unfortunate now, if he'd gone to Real Madrid. But that wasn't enough. He needed to be able to step up his game and be in a different environment, and that's why these big hitters end up leaving any given company. Now, what they also do is look at the way the company reacts and treats the lower levels in terms of engagement. So the not engaged people and the actively disengaged, who are actually toxic. They're the apple in the barrel that's gone off, the one that will poison all the rest of them. So if the engaged guys feel that it's not right and they're not really going to get their opportunities, they will leave, and there's not a single thing you can do about it. Then you've got the not engaged. As I mentioned, they're the ones that ask questions all the time. They are wondering whether they can step up, but sometimes because they're asking questions, they seem like troublemakers. They're not. They just want to clarify exactly how things come together. So rather than thinking, oh my goodness, why do we keep asking? They're literally being honest. Does this fit in? Should we do it this way? Should we do it that way? They want to see your reaction to it, to pull them in, to then allow them to step up to being more engaged. And for the actively disengaged, as I mentioned, they don't want to be there at all. Now, when you motivate a company, there's a couple of things that can happen. First of all, the engaged people go, hooray! Everybody's now feeling the same way that I do. Everybody's now considering that we're all going to be raising our game. Now, when I talk to a company that has a high level of really engaged staff, they probably already know the stuff that I'm sharing with them. They probably do a lot of self-improvement and learning too. And they probably spend a lot of time going through stuff in the car, going on courses, and deciding on how they can move their own game forward. So they're good. You motivate them purely by showing them new stuff, and most of it's not new because they've done it before and they do it themselves, but also sharing with them things that they can learn and things that reassure them that everybody else is going to step up their game. For the not engaged guys, when they're motivated, what happens is then they become engaged. They decide, you know what, I was looking for an answer, and maybe the answer is me. I can appreciate that if I start working on this stuff, not only is it good for the company, but it means that my job prospects, my direction, the thing I want to do in the future is obviously in a much better situation because I'm actually much better at doing my game. But then, here's the rub. When you motivate actively disengaged staff, some of them will step up their game and decide, you know what, it's time that I did something more. It's time that I recognize what the company's sharing with me. It's time that I actually became a much better member of the team. But equally so, some of them will leave. They'll just go. They'll say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I've had to think about it, and I shouldn't be here. I should be going off and doing other stuff instead. Now, you never know where that's going to come, and often those people who are about to leave, you don't know why they left. They've been quiet for a while. They always seemed okay, but they go on to bigger and better things. Now, the big fear for any manager is what happens if we bring in a motivator and people leave? Well, we want them to leave, because what happens next is as they go, you can fill their gap with engaged people who go through a job interview process, who are motivated, who know the game, who want to slot in there, maybe younger, faster, or older and wiser, and they will start off bringing in that 80% of business straight away because they really, really are that kind of mindset. So you want to clear out the actively disengaged. You want to motivate everybody so they raise their game. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm looking forward to finding a brand new adventure at KPMG today. But one of the things I will be looking for is I know that with the current recession, and I talked about recession in great depth yesterday. If you haven't checked out the podcast, have a look as a video podcast on my Facebook page, and also I'll put it on LinkedIn and YouTube for you as well. So I'll talk about the ways to deal with a recession, and that's going to be slightly in people's minds, looking for new opportunities, ways of raising your game. But also, I'm really dealing with the most important thing, which is ultimately happiness. It's about how to feed your family, how to make everybody so their work-life balance is the right level, how to conduct yourself so you meet new customers, and of course, how to have better relationships. In a downturn, when things are a little bit tighter, that's a great opportunity to look for new business, because you've got no choice but to do so. But at the same time, rather than beating yourself up about things that don't work out the same way, and there are people who will waste your time, you also are able to understand a better learning about yourself, about how to move forward, and also about what makes you happy. And it's never about working harder, it's about working smarter, and also realizing why it is you go to work, so you can have a weekend with your family or doing the things with the people that you love. You don't work to work, you work to not work. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's just the beginning. Wish me luck. I'm going to go in and start motivating these people in about 15 minutes time. So I'll let you know how I get on tomorrow. Meanwhile, any questions, please feel free. Any comments, then share them with me. And if you'd like me to come and talk to your team as well, then I'm all yours. Just leave me a message, and I'll be in contact with you soon. So here we are at the Grand Hyatt in Dubai. I'm looking forward to motivating a brand new team. And hopefully, at the end of that, we'll share some new insights. And of course, one of the processes is I learn tons as well. So look after yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Any questions about motivation or anything else I've done or talked about, please feel free to contact me. That's it. Bye-bye.